Oh yeah, yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Welcome to the same Corked Stats on a new home here at the Mayo Media Network. Please make sure you're subscribing and following along with everything we're about to bring to you. Before we get started, gotta say thank you to my man Pat Mayo for seeing something in me, you, the Corked Stats crew. Special thank you to the man behind the scenes, Matty Best, as well. I am so excited to be here on the new platform. We're going to be bringing the smoke. As always, come on, man. You know how I do. I'm your host, John Laghezza at MLB Moving AVG on the Bluebird Twitter machine. The big dude with the big mouth from the Big Apple is here to bring you this. Today's episode, we're going to be diving into a favorite sleeper of mine as we work our way through this draft season, getting ready for the MLB fantasy baseball season in 2022. Right now, this show is scheduled for Monday and Friday. Monday, I think we'll be doing something like we do today, a really deep individual player dive. And then Friday, maybe more of a conventional fantasy baseball show, positional ranks, ADP movements, really draft strategies and all that other good stuff, the nuance and the context that you come to hang with me for. Once more, before we get started, thank you everyone out there for picking up what I'm putting down, and another big thank you to you, Pat Mayo. Come on, everybody, let's get it done. We can't let the big man down. Today's topic of discussion is sleeper Ranger Suarez, the 26-year-old lefty for those Philadelphia fighting Phils. He's been a hot topic of discussion in fantasy circles, and we're going to do what we do and really get down and get granular and explain what happened in the past, exactly what's going on, and how we think that will portend his production in the future. So without any further ado, let's dive on in to Ranger Suarez. Last year, he was phenomenal. I generally like to break up pitcher stats into starting pitcher and relief pitcher stats. Usage is different, velo is different because max effort is different. Let's take a look at what Suarez did starting for the Phils last year. Nothing short of phenomenal. 12 starts, 65 innings, a 1.5 ERA, 1.08 whip. Excelente right there. Sierra and xFIP in the mid-threes. Not bad, but always something we want to look at. But, the big shaken butt here is that OPS below 600. I like to use OPS in accordance with ERA and WHIP as a surface stat. Of course, any 2 points make a line. Give me a third point to help to validate or invalidate it. 25% K, only 7% walk rate for Suarez. The swing and strike rated 13%. His CSW at 28. The chase rate over 32 and his in-zone contact rate at 85. Really everything that you could look for at this point in the draft. If you do happen to get a stick on the ball, right, that in-zone contact rate at 85% is good, but not great. Not every pitcher is always looking for swing and miss. Suarez operates around the edges, and a lot of contact is weak. Let's dive on in. 31% hard hit rate on Fangraphs, 32% hard hit rate on Savant. The only difference there is Savant uses a raw 95-mile-an-hour metric, and Fangraphs uses BIS, which has a subjective element to it. People often ask me which is the best. The answer is always both. The barrel rate for Suarez below 2, the blast rate at 0, and if you're unfamiliar to that stat, it's just the optimal subset of barrels, the barrel of barrels. It's the Cadillac of barrels if you're from my neck of the woods. 286 WOBA on contact, 285 expected. So those metrics are legit. He's very hard to do damage against, and we saw that reflected in the home run rate, a stellar .14 home runs per 9, something that even could regress and still be excellent. He keeps the ball on the ground 56% of the time, the line drive rate at 16, fly ball rate at 27. Really not anything to worry about here as far as Suarez goes, but like I mentioned, he did have a little bit in the bullpen, and it's not like those were any worse. It was in 2021 when he started featuring that sinker, and I think that's something we're going to end up getting back to. But his body of work on the whole in 2021 was 106 innings pitched, 1.36 ERA, a 1 whip, the barrel rate below 3, the home run rate, minuscule, exactly what we thought. But even there's a little bit of nuance I'd like to add. The first 2 times out, he didn't go more than 60 pitches thrown. The Phillies trying to stretch him out. So of those 12 starts, let's look at the last 10. 60 innings pitched, Don't have to be a math whiz, and I'm not, to know that's a 6-inning average. He had 2 money starts, and if you're new to my work, just briefly, I was tired of quality starts. 6 innings and 3 earned runs does not an ace make, so I upped the parameters when I was working at The Athletic to 7 innings pitched minimum with 2 earned runs maximum. Now that's a really good start. He had 2 of those and only 10 times out. Only 1 home run allowed in those 60 innings. Hachi, Machi, Liberace, and again, the really strong finish. He averaged 95 pitches thrown down the stretch in those last 8 games. Finished up with a complete game shutout. Went 9, gave up none. Went 7, gave up none. With 16 Ks, only 1 walk in those last 2 games. I mean, he was just phenomenal. I'd like to break things down a little further. Let's get on in. Man, Suarez has earned the title of being split proof, which is meaning it's a kind of a term I coined when a pitcher has a sub 300 WOBA at home, on the road, versus lefties and versus righties. Suarez has earned the term of being super split proof because those numbers are at a sub 270 with a sub 600 OPS across the board. I wanted to highlight that graphic that you see. It's because of the lead ball. He lives at the bottom of the zone, which again explains a lot of the weak contact that we've seen. But if you come here, you know we're going to dive on deep. Everybody throw those masks on, strap on your tank, because here we go. We want to break down a pitcher's arsenal when we're looking for production in the future into more input stats. Let's look for trends that we've seen develop and look to see if we think those will continue. Surface stats, result stats can get you in trouble trying to extrapolate on those, always expecting continuation. So the velo is up year over year. Check that box. Vertical break is up as well. Now, I generally like to look at spin rate. That has been down a little bit year over year, but when we bust out the magnifying glass towards the crackdown, he really had no major response, something that we have to do for every pitcher. See Walker Buehler on my Corked Stats YouTube channel. If you like what we're doing here, there is a little bit extra. I'll be here in the Mayo Media Network Monday and Friday. And in that little sandwich, the meat of the sandwich, I'll be at the Corked Stats channel. Please get over there and subscribe there. No one really has yet. Thank you, Pat, for the boost. Again, everybody, you see the smile on my face when you put me between the lines. The work is extremely serious, but you gotta have fun. Baseball is a long season. It's a lot of work, and if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you might burn out, something you won't expect to see from me as we get through the summer and into those fall months. The mount's always going at 115 off the crack of the bat. So you get an idea of how effective Suarez was against everybody and just how he's doing it, living at the bottom of the zone, the vert break up, velo up. These are all really good things looking forward, all positive trends. Let's take a look at the arsenal. You're getting a sinker, a fastball, 4-seam, a changeup, and a slider. There is not a single pitch anyone was able to do anything against. He has a 321 max X slug last year, and if you notice, the change and the slider have 40% whiff rates. He was really getting it done since he started featuring that sinker in 21. Again, this is where projection systems miss. All props and respect to Steamer and Zips and Derek Carty, who I consider my friend. Mad love for these guys. They're all magnitudes smarter than I am, which is fine, but I think they'd even admit where these projection systems miss, or when we have tangible changes for a pitcher, they happen more often, either with a pitch mix change, velocity, angle change. There's so many different things that could set a trajectory in a different course. Projection systems always weighting backwards, and I think this is where they're going to miss. We'll get to that a little bit later on. So you see the arsenal here, and I think the thing that I really wanted to point out, if you look to the right against left-handed batters, Suarez has been employing a targeted approach, something that we always look for here at Corked Stats. What it generally means is a pitcher has options for delivery, but it also means they've identified efficacy against certain handed hitters, all things that we like to look for. So I wanted to highlight the extreme hyper use of the sinker against lefties, in particular where we're going to start against those southpaws. Let's dive on in just a bit further. So you saw the sinker use overall at 43%, which is a primary pitch. But if you look at it just to lefties, that usage number jumps to 64%. that is outstanding. As far as the usage goes, we want to see exactly why they're doing that. You could see he's busting lefties down and in. Look at the chart on the right. They can't do anything with it. All of these balls are in the infield. The furthest balls are opposite field. You know hitters are not doing damage against him. In 2021 against lefties, he had a 32 CSW, that's your called strikes plus whiffs, 0 barrels allowed in a 226 expected WOBA on contact. That's just on the sinker, and then you get the changeup and you get the slider away. Really phenomenal stuff. It's really something to behold when you see these targeted approaches and just how they use it, right? So it's okay that he's hyper using the sinker because it's keeping the focus on the inner half, and then he has 2 devastating pitches the other way. Really, again, nothing to complain about. I like everything that I see here. Let's get over to the righties now. You see he uses the fastball up and in, the sinker down and in, and then that change away. Look at the 2 graphics that you see here. The deceptive achievements, right, are happening with the fastball and change up combination, right? They have the same observed spin. You can see that on the bottom graphic, but then they have opposite break. That is a truly deceptive element in a combination, and it makes sense. They come from the same place, but they end up in different spots, making batters have to cover different parts of the plate when they're playing that guessing game. And that changeup has been a money pitch. 27% use. This is against righties only. A 339 xWOG, a 39% whiff rate. And I wanted to point out that distinct location profile that you see, right? When those pitches on a chart are overlaid and you see them almost not overlapping at all. Suarez's command has improved to the point of basically elite. Once we dig into these targeted approaches and see how he's using them and just how effective they are, man, for me, it's wheels up. All systems go for Ranger Suarez. I am buying what we saw at the end of the 2021 season. I expect this to continue forward. All of the changes he's made have really helped, and that's what we want. Pitchers and staffs, or, the management, having an eye on changes towards efficacy. We don't want stubbornness in this age of advanced analytics. Everyone has these stats. Everyone's got the cameras and the Hawkeye going. So it's really important to be a step ahead of the game, man. I am really into Suarez last year. Last thing here is, what do I think we're going to get? The first place to go, let's look at those projections. They've got Suarez down for 11 wins, 165 innings pitched, a 3.75 ERA with a 1.31 whip. Man, I think I'm a little bit higher than Steamer across the board. So I think if we get all of his starts, I think he's going to be north of 165 innings. You might get him closer into 175, maybe even 180 if things break right. 3.75 ERA sounds about fair. I think since they're higher than the indicators from last year, the earned run indicators, that might actually come down a bit. But I don't want to split hairs on tenths of a point, as far as ERA goes. I was thinking more like 3.45, 3.5 opposed to 3.75, but that's just fine. The 1.31 whip is also where I have another issue with the walk rate down. I just don't see where the 1.31 comes from. He'd need quite a bit of bad batted ball luck. I know with ground balls, that's certainly in the range of outcomes. But considering the weak contact, I just don't see it. I think the whip will be a little bit lower. And they have 11 wins. So the Phillies have also boosted that bullpen. So again, I'm across the board. I'm a little bit higher on Suarez. And that's fine. As long as you do the work and you show it, it doesn't mean you're going to be right, but it'll help me keep, my head up when I walk out the door and help me sleep well at night whenever you're going to buck really smart people like Steamer. So 11 wins are wonky, but I see that being maybe more towards 13, 15. I told you about the innings. I have more towards 175. I think the ERA is more 3.4. I think the whip is more 1.15 or 1.2. So you could see, if you're taking my stance and if you're digging the work that I do and all the stuff that I just laid out for you, why I'd be so high on Suarez the way I am now. I don't think you're going to have to overreach his ADP. He is falling. I think people are worried about the small set or kind of squares maybe reaching for those surface stats. Well, I'm not afraid of a pitcher with really good surface stats because I feel like I've backed up all the inputs. So that'll do it for Ranger Suarez and my take on the first sleeper we're covering here on the Mayo Media Network, now hosting Corked Stats. Last thank you so much to Pat and Matt and all the people who believe in the work we're doing. So everybody, get down in the comments. Let them know what kind of a job you think I'm doing. Let me know who else you might want to see this kind of deep analytical dive on, or what you'd like to see added, what you think I should take out. And one last thing, if you did enjoy the video after you subscribe to the MMN, check out the Corked Stats channel. I have already started at the top of the SP ranks doing these same kind of deep analytical dives. We're breaking down arsenals, we're breaking down usage, we're breaking down movement, things that are really tough to find. Did Bueller, Max Scherzer, Zach Wheeler, Aaronola, and Lucas Giolito so far. So please, I welcome you all to check out those videos on the Corked Stats Network. Please subscribe over there as well and hit that like button. That should do it here. That'll do it, man. The very first video from Corked Stats on the Mayo Media Network. I really hope you enjoy it. I work really, really hard to get these things out there as we build this draft library, going into this upcoming season, and I hope you all enjoyed the work and feel that it's somewhat evergreen as we work our way through the winter. Feel free to always go back to this work. I think in between seasons is a really great time to do this kind of stuff. So I think that'll do it. Thank you so much, everybody. Your time is precious. So is mine. And remember, when you work this hard, it feels a lot less like luck. So from the big man with the big mouth, from the Big Apple, I catch you on the flip side, everybody. Peace, man.